Welcome back to Vibes and Frequencies. I'm Nathan.
I'm Paloma.
And in today's video, we are talking about our top 10 favorite things to do with crystals. We're talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. We're talking about shifting through dimensions. We're talking about altering the structure and composition of your own energy. We're talking about a lot of things too that you might not have even heard of before. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with number 1. All right, guys, so we're coming at you with number 1 here, but first I just wanted to casually introduce Paloma here. We've been friends for many years. Paloma has been working at a crystal store for a few years. She's into all kinds of shamanic energy healing, and she's a really good person to have in this video. So I just wanted to shout that out. So number 1 that we're doing is we're talking about using our crystals to actually alter the structure and energy of our water and our food, which sounds far out, but we're gonna explain. So go ahead and take it away, Paloma.
Absolutely. This is a bar of selenite. Selenite is an amazing crystal for clearing and cleansing. So what we do with it is you can put your water just like so, like this, on top of it, and you would want to use a plate generally for something like this. This is a bar. I use it for my jewelry, but anywho, you put your food on top of it, leave it for 15 minutes or so, and that'll help to cleanse your food of any energetic residue that's attached to it through the farming process or the hands that it's passed through. And you can use it to program your water with an intention so that the food that you're consuming has a certain structure that will then program your structure to be in your highest and greatest good for your healing journey.
Wow, well said.
Thank you.
Well said.
Wow.
Yeah, and some of this might sound a little bit all over the place, but essentially what we're talking about here is there were some actual scientific studies that were done by a guy named Dr. Emoto. I've got this tagged in the description of the video for you if you're curious, but he has proved and shown us through his experiments that by being mean to water or by giving your love to your water, and then he freezes them and looks at them under a microscope, you can see that the actual compound and structure of the water has changed. Now we ourselves are literally a walking sack of water. So if we're constantly taking in stale, stagnant, energetic structures, we ourselves are becoming it. Like literally, you are what you eat could not be more on point with what we're talking about here. So by using crystals that hold an energy that you are intending to work with and grow in your life and putting them in your water, surrounding your food with it, it sounds a little bit weird, but you can really feel these changes.
Absolutely.
You can, like I drink Moldavite water personally, and for me, I just get like buzzy and I literally feel like a little bit psychedelic and high from this. I know it sounds pretty ridiculous, but I've actually got a Moldavite water video tagged below for you guys too. Just be careful whenever you're making crystal water and do your own research, because some crystals have the potential to leak hazardous materials into your water. So just remember this. And now we're gonna hop into number 2. Number 2 is that crystals are going to increase your sensitivity to the energetic realms around us. Now this sounds really basic and maybe not that exciting, but here's the thing. Energy is literally everything. The physicality of our experience, the matter of the things that like we can actually reach out and touch, all of this has a powerful energetic presence that is happening simultaneously. It's not one or the other, it's all of it together. All of it is the same. It's this energy branching out into our experience. Now, working with crystals will drastically increase your sensitivity to the energetic world around you. So this can start looking and feeling like all of a sudden you've got supernatural abilities where you're feeling things, seeing things that perhaps you weren't before. Perhaps other people aren't seeing these things and you start feeling like you're crazy. You're not. You're not. Everything is happening around us, even in the infinite quantum realm spectrum of the fabric of our reality. I don't know if you guys are familiar with quantum mechanics, but damn, it is so cool, guys. And even all of that is energy. So working with crystals literally starts cracking us up into being the individual person on the infinite spectrum of timelines, being on the timeline of the version of you who is sensitive to energy and is tuned into energy and is working with energy. That's what we're doing a lot when we're working with crystals. We're entering into the energetic realm of things. So by doing this, it's like naturally just gonna start branching out and creating and manifesting the world around you to be you, very sensitive to energy. Now there's another way about this that I can explain too. There are certain substances, psychedelics, like smoking weed, things like this, that for some reason, I'm curious if you guys notice this too, you could let me know below. After I began working with crystals and I was still using substances, I found that the dosage that I would take of things would be cut in 1/10 of what I used to be taking. I would be hanging out with my roommate back in the day, and we'd be drinking a beer, and 1/3 of the way into the beer, I'd be smashed. And I don't have any backing for this, but I really feel like it's lined up and connected to when I started working with crystals. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. I'd love to know if you guys know about this too. Number 3 is actually that you can use crystals to boost, heal, diagnose what needs healing, so on and so forth, to our chakra centers. So again, this is part of the fact that there's an energetic dimension going on to us and to everything around us. Now, chakra centers and chakra systems are a way that we can understand and navigate some of these energetic realms. And they're actually really helpful to use this kind of information with when you're working with crystals. They kind of go together. But basically the way that I kind of look at it is that our chakra systems and centers, each one individually, is actually, in a sense, almost kind of a vortex of energy that holds on and creates karma. Now, a lot of times people think karma's good, karma's bad. Karma is neither. Karma is simply just another way that we can explain one of the dimensions of our reality. But each of our chakras are holding a vortex of energy, is the way that we can think about it, and it's creating momentum. It's creating momentum, and momentum is what's pushing us into who we are in the present moment, how we feel, what we're thinking about, what we're talking about, what we're seeing, what we're not seeing. This is karma. It's karmic momentum. Even in the cells of our body are karma. Karma is memory and information that is being held onto, essentially, and is pushing you in a certain direction. So even the cells of our body are pushing us in a certain direction. Are you choosing who you are right now? Or is it the karmic memory and information in your body that is creating you to be the physicality of what you are? Right? This is just such a cool topic, seriously. Chakras are really crazy. Here's the thing about working with crystals with chakras, though. Getting sidetracked, I'm so excited. You can actually put them over the specific chakra that you're working with, and you can create your own karma there. Whether this is karma to heal a certain issue you may be having, or for example, let's say I am a seer and I really want to choose consciously to work in the realms of magic and seeing things that other people aren't necessarily seeing. Well, I might want to boost my third eye and my crown chakra. These are the chakra points that might make sense with this. So I can quite literally take my crystals and I can place them over these centers and help to create karmic momentum that is creating me in the direction of being this version of myself. Not only this, but it's holding on to energy in of itself that is influencing us, and we can feel it and enjoy it too. Now, when it comes to working with crystals for chakra points, I do personally find that putting them over the chakra you're working with really helps. Perhaps this just has to do with intention, awareness. Either way, it works for me, so that's what I'm going to share. This is my heart chakra necklace, so I'm wearing it over my heart. Now, if you're going to do something with like the third eye, for example, there's all kinds of stuff you can get. You could search on the internet and you can find headbands that actually have pockets, and you can put crystals in there. This is a piece of Moldavite in mine. And then you can literally just wear it. And as you walk through your day and you walk through your life, you feel this energy and it is creating you. And you are creating yourself. So what I really like about crystals and chakra healing is that we can get really intentional in our own self-artistic creation of who we want to be and how we want to interact with the world around us. And this is why I really love this one. All right, guys, now we're coming at you with number 4 of the super cool things that you can do with crystals. Paloma, what are we talking about here in number 4?
We're talking about making plants grow with crystals.
Plants growing with crystals. What is it
Yeah.
that you mean by this? Can you show me?
Yes, come.
Okay, let's go.
Let me show you my
Yeah.
plants.
Here we go, guys. We're gonna go check out some stuff together.
So these are some of my plants. So this
Alright.
is my money tree. And in said money tree, I have buried some rose quartz palm stones that I have broken over time.
So you're burying your crystals in your plant pots.
Absolutely. So,
Why? Why are you doing that?
It can help your plants grow. So you can use certain crystals like moss agate, different greens. Quartz is a great just base one. And it actually helps to strengthen their root systems as well as help the microbiomes of the plants. And it also just helps them vibrate with healthy plant energy. And they're just all so happy.
You've got some in these too?
Yeah, I have in pretty much every single one of my plants.
Man. I remember how obsessed with plants you were in high school.
Oh yeah, baby.
So something that I think is really cool about this, and of course what Paloma's talking about is, you know, if you're somebody that's growing plants, you can use your crystals, help them grow. What I really like about this is that what crystals really are and can be is a tool for us to communicate our intention and our own energy and our love, and we can amplify that. And crystals are part of nature too, and so are plants. So like this is obvious, but I find that when we're working with all kinds of different natural elements, if you're both growing plants, working with crystals, walking around in life, like wanting the earth and the plants to grow and be healthy just like you, there's this kind of oneness that starts to kind of peel open. When you heal things around you, it's almost like it's healing you too.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it does. It helps. Interesting. It helps to amplify the vibration and the healing vibrations of the plants.
Right.
Exactly. Very much so.
So now we're gonna hop on to number 5. We interrupt with an important message to make sure to like the video, subscribe, make sure to click that bell notification, or you'll never even know I made a video. And drop a comment, let me know what you think of the video. Thanks very much. Number 5 is that you can use crystals to shift dimensions. I'm dead serious about this one, guys, and this is the one that I'm most passionately carrying a lot of information about. So I'm gonna try not to unload too much on you guys here, but here's the thing. There are infinite timelines and parallel realities that are taking place right now. You literally are every single version of yourself you could possibly imagine. Imagination is actually the only limit that keeps you grounded in certain timelines and versions of yourself. Now, when I say that we can use crystals to shift dimensions, I'm talking about more dimensions than what you might be thinking. So we are talking about dimensions of our current present experience. As in, there are many layers to reality. The immediate reality that is right here, right now, where I'm standing, you can peel back layers similar to an onion and get deeper and deeper and deeper into reality. So we might right now be focused more so on a third dimensional reality. Maybe you are focused more so on a fourth dimensional reality where you're really focused on the currents of time and how this kind of unfolds into creating you. So we can use crystals that are holding inherent energy and also collective power from all of us as a collective human culture, I mean, that give these powers and these abilities to these energetic centers. We can pick crystals that actually will help to peel back certain layers and expose certain layers to you even more. So we can use crystals to open up new dimensions to ourselves, and we can also, what I think is super exciting, I'm sorry, I just smacked my crystal. That's how excited I am about this. We can actually use the crystals to shift timelines, to find yourself on the timeline that you prefer. Now this I could talk about for hours and hours and hours, and I've actually got all kinds of videos on shifting dimensions. I'll tag some below in the description for you if you want to check out that playlist. But ultimately, there's infinite possibilities. Here's a version of me that's holding this quartz crystal. Here's the version of me that's holding this necklace. This is literally a different version of me. This is a very simple way to think of it. Now, you can use crystals to shift drastic versions, things that you couldn't even contemplate right now and fathom. It's crazy what we could do with crystals, guys. It's literally crazy. My favorite for shifting dimensions is actually quartz. And this is because quartz is the one that I have the easiest time programming and expanding my intention, making myself bigger. So what I've been doing with this quartz crystal, I'll simply explain to you guys. I've been shifting myself to a dimension of unconditional love. So what I do is I hold this quartz crystal, and at night I go for a walk, and I do the same thing in the morning and at night. Really good times to start activating and accessing your subconscious being. But I do it at these times, and what I do is I simply walk around, and while I'm holding it, I focus my intention on shifting myself to being the version of me who exists from a place of unconditional love. The version of me who's just super happy and full of love just pouring out. And literally, it's working. I have a video tagged about what I'm talking about with quartz and shifting dimensions tagged below for you guys too. I seriously could keep going on and on about this, but I want to hop into the next number, so let's go ahead and do that. Number 6 is that you can actually use crystals in what's called crystal gridding. Now, you can use crystal grids to enhance, expand your intention. You can create all kinds of different purposes and centers of energy in different spaces in your home. You can grid for protection. You can grid for manifestation. You can grid for all kinds of things. And when you start incorporating what's known as sacred geometry into your grids, you can get real fancy. That's a whole different conversation though. So what I want to show you guys right here is a grid I've got set up just for an example. And these here are pieces of Moldavite that I've got in this circle. So what I could literally do is put those pieces in a circle of Moldavite. I could put this in my room, or you could put it in your room wherever, and this can now be a space of high vibrational transformational energy, where when you're in this space, it's like a meditation palace, for example, and you'd be so mind blown at the crazy effectiveness of creating grids and the way that this energy expands, and you can really feel it. I mean, you really can. Now, something else that's kind of cool is that you can actually expand out. For example, if I wanted to, I could make this a bigger circle of Moldavite. And this is something that my friend Nathan, who goes as Wise Soul in the comments, he mentioned to me in my last video about crystals, that you could literally make a circle of Moldavite and you could sit in that circle if it was big enough, and you could meditate and shift through different dimensions and stuff, which we were already just talking about shifting dimensions, so like that lends itself to that perfectly. But crystal gridding is awesome, awesome. We were talking about making crystal water earlier in the video too. You can literally make a grid, and you could literally put your water in the middle of it, leave it out in the sun or whatnot, and you can create super high vibrational water that's holding the intention, which is what you are intending to create. Crystals are awesome. So let's go ahead and hop on to the next one. All right, guys, welcome to number 7, which this happens to be something I've never even heard of before. So I'm pretty excited right now. Woo! Paloma, what is this that it is that we're gonna be doing with our crystal?
Well, we are gonna talk about Yoni eggs right now, and Yoni eggs are a small egg that you insert in the vagina to release trauma in the body.
So this is really intriguing to me. Like I said, I've never heard of this before, but what Paloma is saying is we know that trauma is stored within the physicality of us. Our bodies hold trauma and store it. So you're saying that for a female, a lot of this trauma is stored in the uterus. Yeah,
so we hold a lot of our trauma and emotions in our womb space, in our womb center, which is where the sacral chakra is located. So basically what we do when we put the eggs in is we're gonna insert them, not forcefully, very gently, and what that's gonna do, nice big shot of my womb.
Sorry for the angle.
Good womb shot. She says hi. And yeah, so basically what that'll do is it'll help break up the muscle tightness and release your emotional baggage, basically. It also can be really great when used in meditation. I have a lot of great insights come to me when I use them in meditation and sleeping, dream work.
Really interesting. Can you use, is there like a specific type of crystal that is the best for this, or can you do just like other crystals and be intentional?
Traditionally, they're used as jade eggs. So you can look up jade eggs or Yoni eggs and you'll get all the information of how to use it, when to use it, and so on. And a lot of ones that I like also are rose quartz, really good for self-compassion and healing, and anything orange. So like a carnelian would be really nice as well.
Wow. Very cool, very cool. Number 8 is that you can channel energy. Now, what I mean by this with channeling crystal energy is, with a little bit of a background first, is that we ourselves could be absolutely anybody. And a lot of us feel that our personality, our identity is a fixed thing because we pick up memory and information from the experiences that we have throughout our life, and they create our idea of ourself, of who we are, who we need to be for people to like us, so on and so forth. There's a lot more that goes into this with subconscious programming that happens in our collective society as well. Now, when you bring crystals into your life and you're working with these, this is a piece of blue kyanite I'm waving around for you here. You can actually channel this energy to help influence who it is that you are. And this is the energy that builds us up. Because who we are isn't just an idea and an intellectualization, but it's actually based on a lot of different pieces of dimensions that create our experience of who we are right now. Now, channeling crystal energy is what has helped me to realize that I am malleable, that I could literally be anybody, I could feel anything, and that all the energy and the power is my own. So one of the craziest and coolest things about channeling crystals is that what it's actually about to channel the crystal energy is letting go of yourself. If you let go of the identity, if you let go of the definitions and the meaning and everything that you think that you are, if you can sit there with a crystal and let go of yourself, letting go of your ego in this sense, then what's happening is you're sitting there with who? Not you anymore. Now you're sitting there with the crystal. And this is how we can actually feel the quote-unquote truth of the crystal energy, is to channel it in this way. Because if we sit down to channel a crystal and we go into it with an idea that, oh, blue kyanite is all about throat chakra, it's all about balancing, it's all about speaking our truth. If you sit down with blue kyanite and you already have that thought and that idea, then what you're doing is you're projecting your ego at the raw experience, if this makes sense. To sit down and have no preconceived notions about what it's going to do, not be projecting yourself at all, this is where we can find ourselves in a really peaceful and truthful state where we become one with our surroundings. A lot of this has to do with meditation. Now, I've actually got a video that I talk all about how I channel crystals. I take this a lot deeper. I'll tag that in the description for you guys if you want to check that out. But now we're going to hop into the next thing. All right, guys, now we've got number 9 for you, and this one is very personal and real to me, even though it's super far out. And PALOMA.
Love it.
And this is that crystals can attract, align, whatever word you want to use here, align you with spirit guides, aliens, angels, ascended masters, and this is seriously real. I mean, a lot of these things I thought were jokes, like even before I was into crystals and even in the beginning of my experience with them.
Not jokes.
But apparently it doesn't matter if you think it's a joke or not. You still connect with these things.
Gravity doesn't care if you believe in it.
Yeah.
It's still gonna know you're not gonna be floating.
Like you could tell, we're pretty serious about this one. I've got a whole playlist tagged below for you guys of my alien contact experiences. I have had ridiculous amounts of alien contact, seeing UFOs. I literally was seeing UFOs in the sky 2 nights ago. And this all started happening to me when I brought in and started working with Moldavite tektite, which, to be honest, is also known as like the #1 crystal energy to connect you to extraterrestrials. So I was kind of asking for it in that sense.
Yeah.
But by bringing in crystals and working with them, you are literally shifting and aligning yourself with these experiences, the probability and the possibility and the fact that these things are all around us. They're all around us. We just aren't seeing them. So Paloma has had more experience with guides and angels, so I'm gonna go ahead and let her talk about that.
Yeah, I work more with angels, higher self, guides, spirit family, whatever you want to call it, ascendant masters. And the crystals that I find really beneficial to work with those types of energies, entities, are apotholite, which we have a really beautiful, gorgeous piece right here.
Such a beautiful
Oh,
apotholite.
look how nice she is.
Oh, it's so good.
And this one's really good for communication with angels or higher vibrational beings of the light, some people like to call them. And then phenakite's a great one, and tanzanite are all crystals that I really like to use.
Yes,
Oof,
yes.
tanzanite.
I would suggest for anybody interested in these things, this is my personal experience. Moldavite for aliens, phenakite, which is this piece right here at the top, phenakite for angels, and then you're saying tanzanite for spirit guides.
Tanzanite for spirit guides, tanzanite for ancestors. I work with a lot of that kind of stuff as well. Love it.
Just for fun too, this is a piece of tanzanite we got here.
Yes, ma'am.
So if anybody has had experiences from bringing in crystals with angels, aliens, spirit guides, ascended masters, any of this stuff, I would love for you to comment that below, because these are the things that sound really far out, but it's 100% true, and I bet my entire life and everybody I love on the fact that this is real, okay?
He would sacrifice me for this thought.
It's not a thought, it's a reality. All right, now we're gonna hop on to number 10. So now we're gonna talk about number 10, but before I get into this, I wanted to let you guys know that I've got tagged in the description of this video Paloma's Instagram and her TikTok, where she talks all about crystals on both of these platforms. I've got that link in the description for you guys so you can follow her a little bit more. She really is awesome, knows a lot about crystals too. So, number 10 is that you can use crystals to unlock the magic of the universe in your life. Now, this one is really broad, and it's why I wanted to end the video on this, and it's because this is actually one of my favorite things next to the shifting dimensions. And it's that bringing crystals into your life really kind of ignites the sense of being a child again. Do you remember being really young and, believing that, like, for example, Santa exists and, magic is real and all of these things? This is truly beautiful, and there's so much joy and expression that happens because of this state that we're in. We're in a state of wonder and awe. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and claim to know exactly how everything works. That would be ridiculous. But what I do know is that when I brought crystals into my life, it almost completely realigned me with the person that I had been to all of a sudden being this childlike version of myself again, where magic is real, where the possibilities are infinite. Now, I notice this with pretty much everybody that I know that has crystals and is enjoying crystals. We go from being like totally in the doldrums to boom, magic is real. Excitement is in everything. And this magic expands into all areas. If you're familiar with the law of attraction, by bringing crystals into your life, you literally are going to start attracting and meeting people that are also into crystals. Maybe they're into other spiritual concepts. They also believe in magic. And all these people get together and you start to build this collective energy, and it becomes this mechanism for magical manifestation. Now, I'm going off in all kinds of different directions here, but what I want to leave it at is that crystals are absolutely incredible. They're one of my favorite things about being here alive on planet Earth. The fact that there are tools and conscious spiritual companions that we can work with and we can share our love with. When we give them our love, it's like they just reflect and bounce that love right back to us tenfold. This is just so cool. I really love it a lot. Now, if you've got a favorite way to work with crystals or something like this that was not mentioned in this video, I personally would absolutely love if you threw that in the comments below so that I can work with these and to grow myself as well. What we can do with crystals is just infinite, and just like the infinite timelines and possibilities in the universe, the only limit is our imagination. So, thanks for watching.